The last guy I got here, I'm gonna say he's my most underrated player on the offensive side of the ball, and that for me is Devin Singletary right now. And the Devin Singletary situation kind of reminds me a little bit of what Levi Wallace went through here for years. It was kind of like he's doing his thing, playing pretty well, but looking like there's room to upgrade. And we see drafting Zach Moss. I think that was more of kind of to complement Singletary, but players kind of being given the opportunity to try and go win that job. And Singletary's been steady, and there's a certain aspect to him of his elusiveness that I think goes kind of underrated because he doesn't have these gaudy stats and the breakaway speed to kind of put it all together. But when we're looking at what he's done over the last couple of years, and we're able to be here talking about offensive line struggles we've had, in particular in the running game, I started looking up some stats on Devin Singletary, and I see from Football Outsiders. So over the last 2 years, with running backs tallying 200 plus carries over the last two seasons, Singletary leads the league in broken tackle percentage at 23.5%. And you start looking at that like, man, he's breaking this many tackles. Like, how are his numbers not just bananas? And then I start rewatching games and playing through, how many times was that first missed tackle? He's getting hit in the backfield and he makes a guy miss and makes a second guy miss. And all of that was happening behind the line of scrimmage, so it ends up being a 2-yard carry. There's just so many times that you get Singletary in the open field and he's kind of one-on-one with a guy, and he does one of those little back steps or little juke. And my guy Vince, if any of you guys used to listen to Buffalo on the Brain with Vince Taylor, he was every week he was talking about how Singletary reminds him of like a budget version of Barry Sanders. And I think this missed tackle percentage kind of points to that. And this kind of goes along with my idea of Roger Saffold and how important that he could be to this team. If we can get Singletary consistently, at 2 yards before he's making the first guy miss, some of those carries that are, he's just kind of making people miss and just trying to get back to the line of scrimmage, and he ends up making 2-3 guys miss and it's a 3-yard gain. If you can start doing that, just beyond the line of scrimmage and get him one-on-one with some linebackers, get him one-on-one with some secondary players, get a blocker or two in front of him, and then let him use that elusiveness that he has, even with how much this offense likes to pass the ball, and even with the drafting of James Cook and Zach Moss still being in the building, I think Singletary's still going to get his share of touches. And if we can have that improved line in front of him, I think he's going to be a really dangerous running back, not just for the Bills, but in the grand scheme of the NFL. I think he has that kind of intangible shiftiness to make him a really dynamic player, despite not having that, ridiculous top-end speed.